So I was thinking, do nice guys finish last? And I've always been of the opinion that most of the time, like, that's not real. The nice guy. Uh, how am I gonna explain this? I just don't think that like being too nice or whatever the nice guy is the reason you're missing out. Now, we can talk about um okay, let's give I can see a couple situations that could make you feel like nice guys finish last. But I'm going to explain to you guys how I think you should react in that situation, what actually is going on, and then I also have some research to back up why I don't think that being a nice guy is an issue. It's not the issue. Um, so first, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all a story. So I've been working somewhere and I was talking to this girl, and then her birthday came around, and we had hung out for the night, and then I had got her something, and then I basically asked her out. She was like, "No, no, I'm not ready. Good, we're all good. We're chilling." Um, I mean, she basically was like, uh, what am I trying to say? Like at that point, I wasn't. I forgot how the conversation went, but it wasn't like a straight up no. It was more like not right now, how I understood it. Um, and I'm like, okay. And so I backed off. This doesn't mean I was gonna treat her different, whatever. It's still cool. We still work together. No issue. I talked to my friend, and he's like, "Yo, bro." I was like, "What's up? You know that girl you talked to? She said you're too nice." I said, "What? What that mean? What does that mean? I'm too nice. I'm too nice. That's a problem." So again, listen. Uh, I know I just told you. I know what I said, and I stand by what I said. I know I just told you that I don't think being too nice is the issue. And now I'm telling you a story where me being too nice is apparently the issue. Just just listen, okay? I think this is I think these things do happen. I'm not saying it never happens, but I'm saying for the majority of the time it is not the reason, and and that's what really matters, because when you guys talk about it, it's like it's you guys talk about it like it's the like 9 out of 10 times. I'm telling you, this is like probably 1 out of 100. Uh, uh, but let me finish the story. So after that, now to me, if you're not feeling right now or whatever, that's all good. If I'm too nice, or if that was the issue, he could have told me that was the issue, and then we could have talked about it, because I would have been right there, like, so what's the problem? I'd have been sitting there. I'm too nice. All right, what's wrong with me being too nice? I'd have had a conversation, and if we couldn't get over it, we couldn't get over it. I just didn't know it was the issue. Why lie to me? I was a little irritated, but uh, it was just weird to me, because it's just like, I think the reason I was irritated is like, how you gonna tell my best friend like he isn't gonna come tell me? What do you think is gonna happen? So I'm like, all right. So after that, to me, you're no longer. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm too nice. There at that point, it's rejection to me. There's no more that not right now thing. It's not a not right now. You told me not right now because I don't know, maybe you're worried. And again, that's fine. But now that I'm hearing the truth, I'm not wasting my time no more. But again, when I say how I everybody's a friend of me, and if I like you, yeah, I'm gonna do a little more. But if we're but if that don't work out, I'm fine with just being friends. Nothing's got to be awkward, nothing. And it wasn't. But oh damn, I'm loud. I mean, but when you like, if I treat you like a friend, because now I know the situation is what the situation is. What happened after? Well, she was like, "You treat me different," and I'm like, "What you mean? Like, how am I treating you different? Like, you're not doing the same things you used to do." And I'm sitting there like I'm not doing nothing. Like, I mean, I guess we were flirting before, so maybe I stopped flirting. But to me, I'm like, what are we playing games for? You already told me not right now. What's the point of me flirting if I already know it's not that's not what you want? Then not to mention the fact that now I'm hearing I'm too nice, so I was never an option. Uh, then there was this other coworker I had, and he used to hit on everybody. And so I guess he hit on her. And then she came to me, and she was like, he hit on me, and like she was trying to get a reaction out of me, and I was like, okay, did you say yeah? You down with him or what? And she was like, well, you're not gonna say nothing? And I'm like, look, maybe this is crazy. I'm looking at her like, you just told me. Talk to her about the situation either. It's not like I kept that between me and my friend. I wouldn't know. I was like, too nice. That's what it is, I guess. So it's like you already know what I said and what I feel. I'm cool to be friends, but what? Which now you expect me to come defend you, or not even defend you? Like, well, I'm supposed to be mad about it? Um, but that's how I think you should treat it, right? So like when you find out, hey, it's a done deal. I don't think you should flip out, be sad about it or nothing. Move on. Now, it's easy to say move on. I understand. I understand it's easy to say that, but I already here's what I'm gonna also say. I don't think you should be so invested if you've never. Now I can understand if you're on and off relationship, it's harder to be move on. But if this is a fresh relationship, I don't think you should be so attached that it has that effect on you when you get rejected. You know, um, I think when I think it's fine to be told things sometimes and just move on. And then right after that, I moved. Well, when I say move on, like I was on to whoever else I was talking to, and then I and then I and then I dated somebody for I don't know, but that is not relevant. I mean, all I'm saying is I found another opportunity, and that there's going to be more opportunities. You don't have to sit there, especially now. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. If you're talking to a girl and she's like, and you find out she's saying you're too nice, first of all, you shouldn't even want to be with her. All right, you really should move on. Don't get with her. That's an issue. Okay, that's not something you. Hey, no offense, but if your reasoning for and to anybody, I'm telling everybody this. If your reasoning for not wanting to be with someone is because they're too nice, you're weird. Um, but I don't think that's anybody's like uh real reason, and I don't think it's an issue. So this is the now I just told my story. Um, and I and again, okay, actually, I need to finish what I'm trying to say with that story. I thought I said what I said, but to be honest, even in that situation, you can kind of understand that like her interest was still there. I don't know why she said what she said. If she really how if she really even felt the way that I don't know if she could feel. How am I trying to explain this? It was clear that whatever I started doing after I realized she said what she said, she was starting to gain interest. And I know some of you might interpret that as, oh, you started treating her badly, so now she likes you, or you started ignoring her. No, this is why I wanted to emphasize what happened after. I don't do that awkward stuff after. It's back to what we were before. If we were friends before, we're chilling still. So I didn't do anything different. Okay. So you could tell, but with the things she was doing, that there's probably still some interest there. So that it still wasn't even a no. I'm just the type of person where if you say something behind my back, or you can't say something to me, I'm not wasting time anymore. And when I'm over it, I'm over it. There's no, oh, let me, I'm over it. Um, so in that situation, I don't even think it was really even a rejection. I think if I would have pushed more, and by pushed, man, I have to explain things so carefully because saying pushed, I know people. Okay, I know I could have uh, continued flirting and keeping the relationship on a playful level, and eventually, probably something could have happened. I chose not to do that in a situation where she was kind of pushing for me to do that, which is why I'm saying I don't even think that was a example of me being too nice or too nice being a rejection. But uh, to to continue on why I think that nice being a nice guy isn't real, or like being too nice isn't real, is I just spent the last like 30 minutes, like I'm a weird nerd, bro. When I think about things, I just go search it on Google Scholar. I find an article, I look, I started reading it down. I read it all. I read it all. Uh, and basically, they did a bunch of tests, and the tests involved um, there were a bunch of college students, female, and they had them come in. They were, I think, psych majors, and they watched a video of a guy who was had a script. Now they didn't know what the script was. They didn't know he was acting. They for From their knowledge, they thought they were watching it live. Um, and they did a test with physically unattractive and attractive men. And then they had them do dominant and less dominant gestures to show like dominant behaviors, had their speech patterns different, to show like more dominant uh, and less dominant. And basically, what it had no effect on how the women saw their attractiveness in them, or their desirability. The way, not alone. Okay, so then they do another study, and they're like, okay, well, what about someone who's pro-social? Now, pro-social just means uh, like to try to I mean, I don't even know what I'm trying to simplify. It's just I'm just saying like you're more considerate and you're more caring of others, and like if I was to ask your opinion, I'd be accepting. Um, I'd kind of be like more agreeable. That's another thing they looked for, agreeable. So if you were pro-social and dominant, there was a boost in like your attractiveness, but that had more to do with being pro-social or pro-beneficial to everyone around you than the actual dominance. They did the same thing with agreeableness, or being agreeable. If you're more agreeable and uh, just less aggressive, they were seen more desirable than uh, the dominance had no effect unless it was crossed with those. Like those were good, and then if it was with dominance, it made it better. But dominance alone had no effect. Um, that would show evidence that it being dominant over not being dominant had any effects, right? So it was just very interesting to see them go like show their different methods and show their different tests, and basically all of it showed um, basically that just being more pro-social, being more agreeable, uh, pretty much being the nice guy was seen as more desirable by far. Uh, and then if you had dominance with that, sure, you could push for it, but there's nothing wrong with being the nice guy. The other guys were less desirable, as in like maybe they'd be seen as physically attractive, or uh, uh, I don't it didn't really affect the sexual attractiveness. Um, there is a study that showed that dominance did have a sexual attractiveness back in like the 1970s or something, but that study was that study didn't have as many variables as this one, and we don't know the context, or at least from the paper, they didn't tell me the context of her experiment, because they were explaining that the context of her experiment might have influenced the way they saw those dominant men. Because, like I said, dominant men that are um, agreeable or altruistic, as they said agreeable and altruistic, and those guys were seen as more desirable. But uh, the main attributes was the main variable that was affecting it was the was altruism and being agreeable. So it's just interesting to see that there's a such a gap in what we actually believe, right? Because the nice guy finished last is like that's globally a thing that people think. But I think there are experiences that people have that could make you think, if you've only been in like four relationships, and one out of four of your relationships was like that, or you think it was like that, then I can see why you feel like that. But the majority of the time, the research shows. Now, again, I'm gonna link this in the description below, but there's more research backing this up, and you can look it up for yourself. But statistically, being the nice guy is the way to go. And it's a shame we're arguing about that. Uh, but yeah, sorry for my it's part-time rambles. I ramble. Okay, I'm thinking on the spot here, and I'm giving you my unfiltered thinking. I'm gonna stop trying to be too PC though, because it makes me I hate explaining myself, right? Like I'm not trying to be malicious here. That's all. But thank you for listening. If you've gone this far, I appreciate you for watching. If you want to see more content, and you liked what you saw, we have a part-time kids channel. I'll put the description below. We also have our podcast, which is the videos are on this channel, but if you want audio only, you can go to Spotify and just search um, part-time rambles, or that will also be in the description below. We also stream. You can go to my stream down there, um, twitch.tv/stuffums. Um, Other than that, that's all I have to say. If you have if you disagreed with anything I said today in this video, please go ahead and leave some comments down below. I would like to see how far off my perspective is compared to yours, or if I'm right there with you. Also, I'm going to start putting songs of the day below, um, the songs that I like that make me feel better, and I think it'd be cool to share that with you guys. All right, bye.